So hello and welcome to a Film Mixologist, place on the internet thingy where the unmatched becomes rematched somehow. So case in point, this Weber carbs, so you can see I've got 3 of them, and this is because this 2 came with a manifold, but they were kind of woefully out of match, in the sense they weren't definitely not a pair. They couldn't have worked as a pair. So what I did is I went on the internet and I made a purchase of another one that is of the same series. So it's a DCOE 32, DCOE 32 here, and this one now becomes like a spare. So what I'm gonna be doing in the kind of over the next couple of weeks is I'm gonna be doing all of the processes by which these carbs get fixed. So I'm gonna do disassembly, cleaning, the kind of rebuilding of them, and also setting them up on the manifold, because that's quite important in Weber carbs. There are certain techniques you need to abide by. So without further ado, let's start with the disassembly of the carbs. So I'm just in no particular order. I'm gonna get this one here. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to put the camera, I'm going to let the camera roll. And every now and again I'm going to do some commentary of what I'm doing. The good thing as I'm doing this is that I have got 2 carbs, so therefore I don't have to do the kind of Spanish and English version. I can just do one at a time. Okay, so in no particular order, my technique is always to disassemble the carbs and start putting all the things in a plastic bag, like so. There. Now I need to start doing all of the outside bits. There we go. Reasonably okay. There we go. Okay, so that's good enough. So now let's take all of the bits and bobs here. One, 2, and this little thing that covers the progression holes. There we go. Okay, so now it's time to take off the jets. For the time being, we can just put them in there. That little tab that came out, that needs to come out as well. Now these bolts were a little bit crusty, but they still came out okay. And as you can see here, the shaft is a bit iffy. This is really the kind of the least good carb out of the lot. You see, but it's coming out nicely. Okay, there's a little bit of crud in there, but nothing that I would say it's too bad. So all the bits in there. Excellent, so we're making progress. Let's take the choke off, because we're gonna need it to take these bits out. Okay. So now, okay. So now certain things you need to be really careful with this. In order to take this out, yeah, what you do is you do it like this. And you need to take out all of these things, and you need to be really careful with these things because they tend to fly off. So down like this and take them off. All of these bolts you need to keep. They are very difficult to obtain, so that's why you need to keep them. And these things just slide out. Obviously if I put them like that, there we go, they slide out. Again, these bits are difficult to obtain, so always keep them. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these things out. So let's take this first. Now inside here, in this there can be some rods that, again, there we go, you see. So that's why you need to be careful here, because you've got these things. So you've got this rod here and this like little metal balls, so you always have to be a little bit careful in how you do them, you see. So I dropped one on the floor, but here it is, so winning. So how do you take the accelerator pump off? Now you just put a plier and you just do like that, and it slides out easily. And the other thing that we need to do is we need to take the choke bits, which you have to sometimes there we go. So this one's just unscrew, so this is okay. There we go, 1, 2. Yep, fine. So now for this is the spring that lives inside here. We'll show you in a bit. So yeah, you need to sometimes grab it. Sometimes it's difficult to grab this thing, but you need to keep this tab, you see. There, you can grab it like this and try to take this tab off. That's one way of doing it, like I'm doing here. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. I just put it down there momentarily. One thing that is very important on Weber carves is this, which I'm going to explain what this is when I'm doing the building. But essentially, this is a component of the accelerator pump circuit of the carb. So I'm going to do that. Whoops. Another one on the floor. There you go. It looks like this. And this is a 80, 50 or something. Anyway, I'll explain in a bit more detail what that is later. So this one, so what this cover does really is reveal the return spring. And what you need to do with the return spring is there is a locator pin that we need to remove from the return spring. So there we go, and this is the pin that we need to remove from this kind of, that is located in the shaft with this cam. So let's have a look. If you hold it with your finger there and like so, There we go. So now, well, what I've done, I mean, you have to keep the pin, although I've got spare pins. So now what happens is that this has become, like, if you want, divorce from the shaft, which is important. So in order to remove the bolts here, what I'm gonna have to do is, obviously you need these tabs here to come off, and sometimes they can be a bit of bugger, to be honest, but hey, that's what we're here for. There we go. And now with these tabs removed, you need to make sure that they're down like that, because if not, you're never gonna take out this bolt. Okay, so what else do I need to do? This. Okay, well, this generally comes out with vice grips, so you just vice griperate it and a bit more. There we go, and there we go. Yep. It's tight. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so let's try and do this little bits and bobs. Obviously there is a little bit of corrosion here, and this actually requires a specialist technique. So let's do this one. This should be the easier one, and if I remember rightly, it's an 11, metric 11. Yeah, ooh, oh, that was easy. Excellent. So here we go. Let's get out of here. Okay, now this one. Yeah, as you can see, it is a bit rusty. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to deploy a little bit of secret sauce, which is 50-50 mix of acetone and automatic transmission fluid. You give it a little squirt there, and what you need to do is the following. You can use, I use cotton wool, but you don't need to. You can use any other material. And basically what you do is you wrap the throttle plate with cotton wool, you grab one of these like so that the shaft doesn't move, and now you're in a position to do it. There we go. This one actually wasn't too bad, I have to say. But sometimes you need to support the shaft, because it's not uncommon for things like this that they are going to that the shaft gets bent when you try to take it out. So that's why it's always useful to be really careful with this sort of thing. So I've got it now. So we've got the two bolts out. That's okay. So now what we need to do is we need to grab the auxiliary ventures and the choke, which hopefully should just slide out. So what you do is you grab them there, one and two. There we go. And the choke should just come out like that. That's my rubber mallet. Stubborn devil. Anyway, let's continue. All of these bits go into the part bin. There you go, because then it's gonna get cleaned out anyway. So let's see if I can. So now what I need to do is I need to kind of cut the crimping of the shafts here. Okay, so now let's take off the throttles. Now it's quite important to take them off in one movement. So you have to break the seal of the throttles, and that's really quite crucial in these units. What I need to do is Okay, so now it's time to take the shaft out, and what I generally do is I put a nut like this so it's parallel with the shaft, and I try to hit it on one side so I don't damage the threads there. So okay, so once I've taken it out like this, then I'm ready to take this out like so. And then start driving the rest of the shaft out, which sometimes they're not as cooperative as they could be, so you need some sort of there we go. So this is the shaft. Obviously it's got this this bearing that we need to take out, but and now this one, so on this bearing we need to take it out as well. So what I do is I have got a broken shaft, or a spare shaft that I use. And basically I use this sort of shaft to drive the bearings out, like so. stubborn little devil. There we go. So in an explosion of parts, they start coming out. So these are all the seals. And let's give it some more. There we go. So this is the old bearing. Look at the condition. It wasn't very good. There we go. And now what we need to do is we need to take the bearing out of this one. And what you do is generally you put it in a vise like this. You support it, and you just gonna punch it up from here. Don't forget to take off the spring here with that little tab, which may or may not come out, but what you can do is you take it up from here and you take that from the top. There we go, golden. So I hope you got something out of it. This is the complete disassembly process. Now we need to start cleaning, fixing all the parts, and then ready for reassembly.